Hello, everyone, and welcome to the writer's class. And yes, I actually got the podcast that I'm recording correct today. I did not say the Ladies' Tales, although I am seriously looking for someone to interview for the Ladies' Tale podcast because I really, really want to talk about what's going on in Hollywood. And I have no idea what it is, but I just want to know. Someone please come get interviewed to update me on what's going on. It feels terrible not to know. Anyway, that's not what we were here to talk about. We were here to talk about writing today, apparently, because, I'm a writer, so I should talk about these things, right? And I'm Wilnona. By the way, high five from to me for remember to introduce myself because I often forget and do this at the end. And yes, I almost did the whole little dance here, but I think it goes like this. I'm not. Yeah, so I should leave this alone. Oh, my guest that has it. I think I like that. I like that. Oh, I wrote books, y'all. You can tell I am obviously not a dancer. I definitely must do something other than that, and that's books. So we have And I Thought Divorce Was Bad, And I Thought Being Grown Up Was Easy, If Only I Were Me, a Memoir in Verse, Foreign Coffee, Widow's Web, and Widow's Debt. And you can get those 6 books wherever audiobooks are found. And if you want to find out about the wait, a 6, so that makes 21 other books. God, I need to stop writing at some point. You can find those at www.andithoughtLadies.com. I won't stop writing because you guys actually tend to buy them. So yay, thank you. Please, no bad reviews. Fingers crossed on the new one. Come on, y'all. Give me 3 months with no bad reviews. Oh, but you're not here to hear about me, which is sad because I really have more about to talk about like how to write a good review for me about my book. Just a little narcissistic there. You're here to hear from our wonderful guest. Wonderful guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. I am Tanya Shaffer. I am a playwright, author, former travel writer, well, sort of current travel writer. I do a Substack called Tanya Shaffer's Off Leash Chronicles, and I teach writing, creative writing to adults working on memoirs or fiction or personal essays.
Mm. She also does. I like how you bring the two together because you do retreats. It's
I
like,
do also do retreats, yes, and I do also do private coaching and editing, that too.
ooh, you do the hard stuff, the editing. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah. No, I don't mind. It's fun. It's
but
all,
you enjoy it. That's what's
I do
important.
enjoy it. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I was about to be like, yo, can you tell me rates because I need to send more stuff your way. I'm joking.
Yeah,
Oh,
we can chat offline about that if you want, or I can tell you.
no, it's okay. So I'm supposed to ask something semi-professional here because I've already done the silly question, right, about like rates. Really, I just want to know how did you get started in this? I mean, you said travel writing, but then like jumping over to teaching memoirs. How does this happen?
Well, I have been writing my whole life, scribbling, writing, keeping journals since I was a kid. I started doing travel writing fairly soon after college. I spent a year in West Africa and I was writing about that. There used to be a part on Salon called Wanderlust, a travel section, and I published a lot of my shorter pieces on there. And then I wrote a book about that year. And then I also was always doing theater. Um, I was an actor and then I started writing plays for theater. So I was doing all that for years before I started teaching. I started teaching in 2018. So I've been teaching for about 7 years. It began when I started taking a class in the San Francisco Bay Area where I used to live before I moved to Michigan. Called Wild Writing. And I loved the way this teacher, Lori Wagner, taught, which was just a very free, wild practice. And it was so fun. I enjoyed going every week. So I thought, I want to teach like that. So I took her teacher training. And out of that, I developed my way that I teach called off leash writing, which is also just a very wild, free, fun practice. And then after doing that for a couple of years, my students wanted a next steps kind of a workshop of how to take the stuff they were generating in the off-leash writing and polish it, and get it more ready, perhaps for submission or for posting on their own, Substacks or blogs or to create a book. So then I added the memoir and fiction workshops. And then I just added the retreats a couple years ago. I've done two so far, one in Hawaii and one in Greece, and they've been awesome.
Okay, two of the best places like ever so far that I've traveled to. Okay, where in Hawaii? I'm sorry I missed that part.
It was on the big island of Hawaii, in the Puna district of the big island of Hawaii. So in the rainforest, so beautiful. That was amazing. Lava, volcanoes.
Are you going back to Greece?
Uh, am I going back, did you say?
Oh, yeah, what we doing? Oh, are you doing another retreat in Greece?
I don't know yet. I just did the one in Greece 2 months ago. It was in October of this year. It was amazing. I think I probably will do another one at some point, but I haven't figured out yet. Right now, I'm doing one a year. They're like a week-long retreat. I haven't yet figured out what I'll do next year, whether I'll go back to one of those places or go someplace new. So
Oh,
stay tuned.
definitely. Okay, you guys, there was Hawaii, that's amazing, and then there was Greece, and then it's just insanely mwah, gorgeous. But you know that I like to eat food, so all the Greek food, oh my God, it's so good. Oh,
Really, really good. It really is good.
and then the history in Greece by itself is just great for the imagination. I'm sure your writers had a lovely time.
They did. We all had a great time. It was so fun. And we were on an island called Amorgos that's pretty far out there. So even getting there was kind of a journey. It was amazing. Yeah.
Oh my God. What beauty and solitude to really get your head on straight and get some writing done with water. Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. Now I'm just wishing I had gone. I had seen like an ad or two about like a Greek retreat and I was like, "Ooh, that sounds nice." And I was like, "Nah, I had to go to the book fair."
Oh, yeah, come next year. I definitely will go back to Greece at some point, but I might go somewhere else next year and then go back the year after. Not sure yet.
Yeah,
But we're,
you gotta keep traveling the world and find a place for sure to like sit down, really enjoy the culture. We're kind of stuck. We do a retreat as well, but ours is in Las Vegas, and since it's called the Las Vegas Writers Retreat, I think we are stuck in Las Vegas. So,
unless you change the name to the Athens Writers Retreat or whatever, or the Paris Writers Retreat.
it is easy to get to Paris now from the East Coast. You have me thinking. All right, not okay. This is not about me. I'm sorry. I immediately made it about me. I am a narcissist after all, right?
I don't know.
I normally say I'm the narcissist of the group. Uh, you said you're a resident playwright? You were an
I
actor and now then you became a playwright. What
Yes, that's
made
right.
this?
What's that?
What made you decide to go into playwright?
Well, I mean, I did theater my whole life. Just like I was writing, I was also acting from the time I was a kid, doing theater starting when I was 8. And I think the first piece. Right. I started writing a solo show when I was in college, creating a solo show. And I think the way I became a playwright was after, so I do a lot of travel. It's always kind of blended the creative stuff with the travel. So I had traveled in Nicaragua and I wanted to write a play about it. This was a long time ago. And I started writing another solo show for me to do, but it just morphed. I was gonna just do a solo show and tell my story, but these other characters started coming into it, and before I knew it, it was a play, and that's how I first became a playwright. Yeah.
So, okay, when you got those characters, was it kind of like the novelist where we just they won't stop talking and they just insist on going on the page and then they take over, or did you kind of like structure everything?
Um, no, I didn't start with an outline or anything like that. I do use outlines, but usually not at the beginning. At the beginning, I usually start like with my plays. most of them begin based on some experience I had. So I started with my experience in Nicaragua, but then it becomes fictionalized. So usually I'll start out basing a character on somebody I met, but then as the story kind of takes hold, it changes and morphs and characters combine or switch gender or whatever, and it kind of finds itself and becomes a work of fiction, but I usually start it from some experience that I'm trying to get to the core of. And once I'm a fan of a big messy first draft, so I'll just kind of write it all as fast as I can, as fast as it'll come, and then I'll look at what I have and start to tinker with it.
I mean, someone with the program called Off the Leash Writing, I'm sure they just let it run wild.
That is what I encourage my students to do for their first draft too. And I always say you can fix anything but a blank page. So just free yourself to cover that page with whatever's coming out.
Okay, now I'm gonna ask a controversial question. You can just not answer it if you want, because I heard you say you can fix anything but a blank page, and nowadays we can fix that with AI. How do you feel about your students using AI as like a prompt to start them out?
As a prompt, you mean to ask AI to give them a prompt or for them to give AI a prompt?
Well, for them, some people to like ask AI to give a prompt, or sometimes they'll put in an idea and then AI will write something out and then they'll write
I
from that.
hate it. I hate it. I mean, some other writer recently they interviewed, I can't remember who, but it was some old guy, and they were like, "What do you think about, writers using great I?" He's like, "I'd rather die." And I kind of agree. I have had only one student that I'm aware of come into my class who was working on a novel and have AI assisting him. And honestly, I I hated it. I hope he never watches this interview, but I'm just like, no. I mean, maybe someday it's going to be so good. You can't even tell, but right now it's not that good yet. And I hope it'll never be that good, but probably it will. But it's like, why are you writing if it's not coming from you? It's got to be your words, your voice. No, if you're using AI, it's just combing everybody else's voice off the internet. Now, having said that, it can help you with organization. Like, I think you can feed your draft in and ask it for suggestions that you can then take or leave in terms of your structure, in terms of what it needs. Maybe that helps, but to have it actually do your writing for you, I don't know. I'm old. I'm sure the next generation will be like, yeah, but
I think, I think a lot of times you think, I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of the people who like the easier way out. So I thought I'd try AI. It does not do what you do
it
at all.
doesn't sound like you. It's not fresh either. It sounds like something you've heard a million times and it's not specific. It sounds generic.
So generic. It's just like, no, this is not like this is not me. This is not anything to do. So like I'm always disappointed every time. I'm like, well, maybe it's better. By the way, they are trying to teach AI to be better. They are looking for creative writing people now, just to train AI to write better stories.
I know. I
Please
mean, I'm
don't get that job,
sure.
y'all.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it'll get better. I'm sure it'll get to the point where you can't tell. I'm sure it will, and I don't know. I don't know what to say about that, but it can't surprise you. Like who you are as a person and your voice comes from your life experience. It comes from where you were born, where your parents were born, where their parents were born, where you went to school. It's like each person is bringing their unique experience to their voice. It can't be that.
It
It-
cannot. It really can't. And nothing works like your mind works. Because
Yeah.
your experiences mold you, and AI just gets molded by other things. Anyway, I spent way too much time on the AI question. Let's
Yeah.
talk about something fun that I love talking about, which is food. So, when you write, what food do you eat? Because I'm
Oh.
a writer who doesn't at least snack.
Oh gosh, I do get hungry when I write. If I have written like a page or two, and I've, had a big burst of energy, then I'm like, I'm hungry. but I guess what I eat depends on what's in the house. I do eat a lot of frozen meals since I want them to be fast. And I am a big fan of Amy's mole enchiladas, I have to say. They're so good. They're like restaurant quality.
Okay, I gotta try those. Okay,
They're so
well,
good.
I'm saying this and I'm currently writing, so I have a bag of potato chips and miniature candies.
Ah, well,
You're not supposed to write great. I mean, you're supposed to snacking, right?
if if there are cookies in the house, I will eat them, but I generally don't keep them in the house, so I have to eat something like an apple or a cucumber or maybe some cheese.
All right, this is why you still look amazing because she's snacking healthy while writing. This is what's going on. All right, you also have a podcast. So you've gone from playwright, you've gone from writing memoirs, teaching, playwright to a podcast. How is
I
this different? This has got to be a bit like stage, but like almost improv.
I do have a podcast. It is not exactly active at this moment, but I started it during the pandemic. It's called Off Leash Arts, and all the episodes are up on my website and on, wherever you get your podcasts. But um, yeah, I always had an alternate life dream to be Terry Gross of Fresh Air. And so during the pandemic, when I didn't have to be driving my kids around and I had a little more time, um, I was like, this is the moment to start my podcast and be Terry Gross. So I started Off Leash Arts interviewing all different kinds of artists, and I've done about 20 of them. But I'm not doing it regularly these days. I actually dragged it out of hibernation a month or so ago, maybe a little more, and I interviewed Jennifer Stile, who's a novelist. Um, but I'm focusing now more on my Substack, um, the Off Leash Chronicles. So it's not a never say never. I know that at some point I'm going to be like, I have to interview that person. I'm going to bring it back, but I'm not doing it super regularly at this moment. Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, if you are an artist, off the leash creativity, you've got to let it run where it may be.
That's right. Honestly, I enjoyed it, but I was editing them and it was just taking so much time. I think maybe if I would just do the interview and put it forward, I could do that, but I was editing them and getting really obsessive about it and it was just taking hours and hours and hours and I'm just like I can't do this.
I could see that happening for you. I could see that and be like, no, it needs to sound like NPR people.
That's right. And if I interviewed a musician, which I did a few times, then I'm interweaving their songs. And, it's just very time consuming. It was fun, but it was time consuming. Terry Gross has a staff, which I didn't have. Although I did get one person helping me, Asher, Asher Whitkin, and he actually wrote me a theme song, which is great. So I did get a little help at some point in there. Yeah.
Oh, nice. But did you have fun? Like, what was like your favorite, I should say, most difficult interview? Challenging. Let's go with the word challenging.
Well, I mean, favorite and challenging aren't necessarily the same. I don't know. I mean, none of them were super difficult. The one I did the most prep for was I interviewed Holly Near. I don't know if do you know Holly Near? She's like activist singer-songwriter that was my absolute favorite when I was in college. She's, a feminist singer-songwriter. And, she was really my hero. So, and I had worked for her organization, it was my first job out of college. So getting to interview her was really exciting because when I worked for her, I was always too sort of tongue-tied to speak to her. So I did tons and tons of preparation for that interview. I reread a memoir she'd written. I read every other interview she'd ever done. And then I did tons of working in her songs afterwards. So that's the one I definitely spent the most time on. And it ended up being my favorite because it was just, I don't know, it was a lifetime high to get to interview Holly Near.
That's exactly what I meant when I asked the question about challenging and favorite. Normally, it's the one that you
Yeah.
work on the longest and the hardest, and you're just like, oh, this is perfect. This is a masterpiece.
I am pretty proud of it because
I
I
don't know what
interwove
to do.
so many songs. It has so many songs interwoven, so I am proud of that.
That's an editing credit that you would just like. I would put it on an IMDb page.
It did require a mastery of Audacity, which is what I use to edit.
Oh my goodness, right?
Yeah.
So, almost next to the last question is you have let your creativity lead you throughout life, it looks like. What have you learned and what do you think new authors should know about jumping into their pool of their own creativity?
That's a great question. I mean, well, Kafka said, he said, and I am going to paraphrase a little because I don't have this quote entirely memorized, but he said, sort of, don't be swayed by trends and winds. Follow your most intense obsessions mercilessly. So I like to tell that to my students because sometimes, people will be like, why am I writing about the same thing over and over? Or they'll feel bad or apologize for that. And I'd be like, no, no, no. Follow your most intense obsessions mercilessly. Only you can do you, right? Same as the AI thing. So if you're writing about the same thing over and over, that's what you need to do. You're composting it, you're turning it over, it's getting richer. So I'm definitely a big fan of sort of following your own compass. Even it's like you may or may not achieve immediate, success, virality, this or that. But if you stay true to your vision, you develop your vision. And I trust that your audience then will find you, as opposed to if you're trying to be everybody else, everybody else is already taken. As that's another quote, Oscar Wilde, right? He says, be yourself, everyone else is already taken. So yeah, I think artists, you have to stay true to your vision and you have to do it for the love of it. Now, there is also, of course, the business of it. And it is important if you want your work to be read to become familiar with that side of it too. But I think the art has to lead. Like you can't, at least not the way I teach or the way I live, you can't like, I'm going to become a writer so that I can write a bestseller and make $1 million. That might work for some people. That's not the way I feel like you're writing because you have something to say. And yes, you want to get it out there. You need to learn the business sides, but your core is that you have something you want to express.
I think that what you just said, it works perfectly with what you have on your website. Don't let someone else hold the pen for your story. Just
Um,
perfectly for what you just said.
Thank
So, where
you.
can people find out more information about you and take some of your classes or possibly get some of that editing done?
Yeah, well, all of that info is on my website. So it's Tanya Shaffer. Well, I guess you can see how to spell it, right? No C in Schaefer. Tanyashaffer.com. You can also put in offleashwriting.com and that will take you to the same place. And I have workshops on there. I have links to my writings and also to the coaching and editing stuff. And you can set up a free discovery call and we can chat about what you'd like to do, or you can just sign up for a workshop. I'm in the middle of December once, but I will be posting new sessions starting in January pretty soon.
Thank you so much for stopping by today. I feel like I'm going to become a better writer just by listening to you.
Oh, thank you so much. This was really fun, and congratulations on your books and your retreats and on doing this podcast.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I'm having a blast doing it. You got to let that creativity off the leash.
Absolutely.
When you do so, you need to find Tanya Shaffer to help guide it into
That's
something that's not a messy first draft.
That's right. Once you've gone off leash, then you have to get back on it. But first, be off it for a long time and enjoy.
Well, I'm going to wrap it up for us over here. I'm Wilnona. I'm one half of the And I Thought Ladies, and you can find out everything your ladies are doing at www.andithoughladies.com. Go down to the bottom of the page and you can see the charities that we proudly support. We ask that you maybe give them a little moment of support too. It could be wisdom, it could be getting your hands dirty and building something, or it could just be money, whichever one you decide. We thank you in advance for that. Remember that wisdom is all around you if you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love, you guys, from Wilnona and the Missing Jade. Oh, yeah. Thanks for listening.